Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial series, we are creating the high quality 3D game asset in Blender and Substance Painter. I hope you like the modeling and unwrapping part. If you have not watched them yet, link is in the description. In this video, we are going to start baking and adding details to the surface of the model. This video is going to be very informative and you will learn so many things from this video. So please watch the video from beginning to end. If you have not subscribed my channel yet, then please subscribe it and turn on the bell icon so that you will get notification whenever I upload the next video for you. So friends, let's start the texturing process. So first we go to File and click on New and change the document resolution to 4096 from here and change the normal map format from DirectX to OpenGL. And click on this select button to import our low poly kerosene can. And from here we will select the low poly kerosene can. So we had created two files in Blender. This one is low poly and this one is high poly. So let's first import the low poly model. Click on open and just click OK. So here it is, our low poly can in Substance Painter. You can press 4 to see the wireframe. You can see that it is low poly. After that, I will go to display settings and change the camera field of view from 50 to 25, so it will be less perspective view. So our good looking model is here, ready to adding details. Let's go to texture set settings. So we are going to bake only normal map for now and not bake other maps, and why we are doing this soon you will be understand. Let's click on beige mesh maps and the new window will open. We will change the output size from 512 to 4096. And here we will add our high definition mesh. So click on this thing, select the high poly mesh and click on open. So we added the high definition mesh. We will uncheck all other maps except the normal map. So deselect everything. Scroll down the wheel and let's see what we have. Let's use anti-aliasing for the normal map. Maybe 2x2 is okay. And in this option, choose by mesh name instead of always. Now click on bake selected texture. So normal map baking is started and high poly mesh details is going to be baked on the low poly mesh. Now you can see that the low poly mesh is look like the high poly mesh because of the normal map. So what we are going to do is we don't bake these maps for now until we will add surface detail onto the mesh as you seen in the thumbnail and in the intro video. In the intro video you have seen some lines here and some bolts fixed here, some details on the spout area and some on the cap. So these details we will add right now with the help of height channel and normal channel in the layer. So first we delete this default layer and create a new fill layer from here. In the properties of this fill layer, deselect all channels except the height channel and increase the height value something like 0.35. Right click on the fill layer and add a black mask. And then go to add effects and choose add paint. So this is our paint layer on the black mask. Now if we paint on the object, it will reveal the fill layer. In the fill layer we only activated the height map, so we can increase or decrease the value of the channel and it will show on the object. This is the grayscale value 1 means the paint is white and it will reveal the fill layer, and 0 means the paint is black and it will hide the fill layer on the object. Hold down Ctrl and pressing right mouse button and drag your mouse left to right and right to left will increase or decrease the brush size. And drag your mouse up and down will increase or decrease hardness or softness of the brush. Hold down Shift and press right mouse button and drag your mouse left to right and right to left will rotate the environment lighting. Let's keep the grayscale value to 1, and that is white paint, which will reveal the fill layer where we want on the object. Change the view from perspective to orthographic view, and that will be easy for us to paint on the object. Hold down Alt and press left mouse button to rotate the camera, and don't leave the buttons, and hold down Shift also will snap the camera to front view like this. Hold down Alt and scroll middle mouse wheel to zoom in and zoom out the camera. Hold down Alt and press middle mouse wheel to pan the camera. Activate the symmetry from here, and from this option you will be able to choose the axis, in which axis you want the mirror effect. So this is Y axis and this is Z axis. So we need in Z axis this mirror effect. Let's snap the camera to front view. Click on the extreme left side and then hold down Shift and go to extreme right like this, and press left mouse click to draw a line. So we have drawn only half of the line, but because of symmetry effect it completed the circle. Let's reduce the size of the brush and try it again. Create one more line here. Now select the black mask and then go to Add Effect and click on the Add Filter option. And click in this filter tab and select the blur effect. Increase the blur intensity from here and increase it to 1.5. You can also go to fill layer and increase or decrease the height value. Whatever you like is the best value. I will keep the height value to 0.35. These details could also be done in Blender and in ZBrush. I am sharing the other way of adding these details on the low poly game asset with Substance Painter. If you don't want to add details like this in high poly model inside Blender or ZBrush, then you can add these details in Substance Painter too. Also very soon we are going to bake other maps, and at that moment if we have a normal map which has all the surface details like this, the other maps will also take that details from the normal map at the time of baking. So these lines are added. Let's rename the fill layer. Let's save the file. Go to File and click on Save. Give file a name like Kerosene Can _01 and save it. So friends, let's work on other details. Snap the camera to right view. Hold down Alt and press middle mouse wheel to pan the camera. Hold down Shift and press right mouse button and move the mouse left and right to rotate the environment. Let's create another fill layer and activate only the hide channel like we did in the previous fill layer. Now press right mouse button on the fill layer and create a duplicate layer and change its value to 0.3. Hide this duplicate layer for a while. Now add black mask on this layer. Now hold down Shift and select these two layers and press Ctrl G to group them. Add black mask to the folder. Select the black mask and go to Polygon Fill. Choose either Mesh Fill or UV Chunk Fill from here. Click here once and this area will be unmasked. This means that material in this folder will only apply in the unmasked area. Or you can choose Mesh Fill to unmask the whole object. But if we select UV Chunk Fill, then it will only unmask according to UV layout. For example, if I show you the 2D layout, we had unwrapped the object like this. Now if I select the UV Chunk Fill and click on this object, it will select only one UV at a time, so the selection is restricted to only one UV piece. So in this folder we have two fill layers. This fill layer's properties only applicable to this UV because it is unmasked. So select this fill layer and change it to material preview and change the viewport to 3D only. Select the mask and go to Add Effect and select the paint layer. Make sure the grayscale value is 1 and brush hardness is also 1. Just click it once and hold down Shift and drag the brush to bottom and click it here. Now go to other layer, add black mask and go to Add Effect and choose Add Paint and unhide the layer. Remove the symmetry as well. Reduce the size of the brush. Now click on the top, hold down Shift and drag the brush to bottom and click here. So these details is created, but we will add some more blur value to this detail as well. Click on the black mask and choose Add Filter from here. Or go to Add Effect and choose the Add Effect option from here as well. Now go to Filter and select the blur effect. You can also copy the effect and paste it into other layers. So we added two details. So let's work on this spout area. Create a new fill layer and create a folder also. Drag this fill layer on this folder. Now add a black mask to this folder. Go to polygon fill and click on UV chunk fill. Now select this UV. Now select the fill layer and deactivate all the channels except the height channel. Keep the height value to 0.1. Now add a black mask to the fill layer. Go to add effect and select paint layer. Select brush from here. So these are the brush properties. We have to choose an alpha from here. Keep the grayscale to 1 and change the alpha. There are many alpha you can choose from, or you can create your own. We need this alpha for the spout area. You can choose alpha from here also. Just click on this and it will be selected. Hold down Alt and press left mouse click and drag the mouse and set the camera view like this. Hold down Ctrl and press right mouse button and drag the mouse left and right to increase or decrease the alpha size. And press left mouse button to stamp the alpha. Maybe we need a larger brush size. Okay friends, this details is also added. We can also add warp effect from add effect menu. Let's do this. So select the mask, go to add effect and choose add filter. Now click on filter and scroll down the mouse wheel and choose warp. Keep the intensity to high and intensity divider to 1000, and in the source parameters you can play with these settings. Let's rename this folder. Let's create a new layer. We will add another line here. So create a new folder and drag this fill layer to this folder. Now add a black mask. Go to polygon fill and select mesh fill. Or we can select UV chunk fill and select this UV. So just one UV is selected and not the whole mesh. In the UV layout you can see that only this UV is selected. After that we will go to the fill layer and activate the height channel and deactivate other channels and increase the height value to 0.1. Now add black mask. Go to add filter and select add paint layer. So paint layer is here. Now click on the brush icon and unplug the last use alpha from the alpha channel. Drag this normal circle alpha to the alpha channel. Increase brush hardness from here and reduce the brush size. From here we will use 2D 3D viewport. We can do one more thing, we can activate symmetry. Press X to use black paint and erase the details. In the grayscale, pressing X will toggle between grayscale values 0 and 1. Let's keep the grayscale value to 1. Now click here and hold down shift and move the brush to bottom and click again. This will create a line between the 2 points. I think this will be okay. Let's go back to 3D viewport only. Now click on the black mask and add a filter, and in the filter menu take the blur filter. Keep the blur intensity low. So this is how we added this detail. I am refining the details more. From bottom it is looking fine. So this detail is also done. Whatever details we are adding will be used in baking other maps. These all height details will bake on each map, and later it will be much easier for us to add texture on the game asset. Right now these height details are not in this normal map. This normal map has only the high poly kerosene can smoothness details. But these height details are not in the normal map yet because the height details are in the layers right now. So we export the normal map with these height details and then we will import the normal map back to Substance Painter and replace this normal map with the imported normal map. So when start baking the other maps, we will not use this high poly kerosene can mesh and we will only use the new imported normal map. So when we start baking, we will check all the maps except the normal map because it is already baked and it has been exported and imported back here. So when we bake selected textures, these maps will take height data from the normal map. Usually what we do is when we bake the maps, we import the high poly mesh with these details done already in ZBrush or Blender. We bring the sculpted high poly mesh to Substance Painter, but we did not sculpt it or added details in the high poly mesh. So let's add some detail on the bottom area. I will go to display setting and choose another environment so it will be easy for us to add the texture here. Hold down Alt and press left mouse click to rotate the camera and then hold down Shift to snap the camera to bottom view. Again we create a new fill layer and a new folder as well. Now drag the fill layer to the folder. Add black mask to the folder. Deactivate the symmetry for now. Go to polygon field and select UV chunk field. Now select the bottom UV. So in this fill layer, deactivate everything except the height channel. Keep the height value to 0.3. Add black mask to the fill layer. Now we choose an alpha from the list. Let's see which alpha do we have. This alpha is looking suitable for the bottom detail. Now select the black mask, go to add effects and select paint layer. Select the brush from here. We will keep the grayscale to 1. In the alpha slot, we will change the alpha. Now increase the brush size. Let's add some blur effects. Go to add effects and choose filter. In the filter menu, select blur. Go back to add effect and choose filter again. In the filter menu, choose warp filter. Increase the intensity to max. Intensity disorder will be 1000. Now go to source parameter and play with the settings. Now we have to add details on the cap, some on the top body and some bolts here. So let's add some more details on the cap. For this we will again create a fill layer and a folder. Drag the fill layer to the folder. Add black mask to the folder. Go to polygon fill. Select UV chunk fill and click on the UV. Now select the fill layer and add a black mask. Deactivate all channels except the height channel. Increase the height value to 0.1. Select the black mask and go to add effect and select add paint. Go to textures and find a good alpha map. This alpha will work. Go to paint layer and delete the default alpha and drag the selected alpha to the slot. Reduce the brush size. Select the 2D 3D viewport. Now add the warp effect again. Add some blur effect also. So this detail is also done. Now we will add text to the bottom. I had created an alpha in Photoshop. To import an alpha to Substance Painter, you need to go to File and click on Import Resources. Click on Add Resources and choose the alpha. Import as alpha and add in the project. Just type the alpha name. We will use it in the same way as we use the other alpha. Let's apply the alpha on our game asset. Let's add some detail here. Go to top view and zoom in the camera. Create a paint layer from here. We need only normal channel, so we uncheck all other channels. Let's find the normal we need for the project from the gallery. Just drag and drop on the normal channel. Activate the symmetry and from here you choose radial symmetry. Keep the count to max. Set the symmetry to y-axis, but the origin of the symmetry is not according to our model. So activate this button and bring these arrows here. Now it looks right at the center of the cap. So we have created the details. Now we will create bolts. This is the same process like the last one. So we have added all the details we wanted for the game asset. Now we will bake these details on our normal map. So let's export the normal map. Go to Output Templates and create a new preset. Give it a name so that it will be easy to find later. Click on RGB button and select normal OpenGL and drag it here. Now select RGB channel. Click on this icon and select this one. Now go back to settings. In the output template, select the preset. and select the folder where the normal will save. Click on export to export the normal map. Now delete this normal and these layers as well. Now we don't have anything in our layers and in baking map slot, but we have the normal map that we created earlier. So go to File and import the normal map. Click on Add Resources. Here is the normal map that we generated earlier. Import as texture into our project. Now drag this normal map to the normal map slot. So here all the details we had created so far. Let's bake the other maps. Go to Texture Set Settings. Click Base Mesh Maps. We don't need to bake normal maps again, so we uncheck this map. We don't need the high poly mesh also, so we delete it. Check all other maps. In the ambient occlusion settings, maximize the minimum occluder distance. Let's bake the maps. Now go to Layers. Create a new fill layer. Deactivate all channels except the base color channel. Now drag the AO map to the base color slot. Duplicate this layer. This will be our ambient occlusion layer, and this will be curvature layer. Now drag the curvature map to the base color slot. Change it to overlay. Create a new folder. Now drag these layers inside the folder. So finally this completed and ready to apply texture. Change the folder to overlay. You can see the depth from this combination of AO and curvature map. Now all texture will go beneath the folder. So in the next video, we will complete texturing the kerosene can in Substance Painter. I hope you like this video. Please like, share and subscribe my channel and turn on the bell icon so that you will get notification whenever I upload the next video for you. So friends, I will meet you in the next video.